Around 10 years ago, I was teaching at Portland State University, and four students asked me they want to intern with me. Now, I knew what the term intern was, but I never did it before, and I didn't know what to do. And I contacted one of my former authors, Shigehiro Nakamura in Japan. He gave me a wonderful instrument called a map. And I'll share this. Every one of you can have a copy of this map. It's absolutely wonderful, absolutely powerful. What the map did, it divides a company into its significant parts. You know, a lot of us are doing lean, and we're focusing on the 7 wastes that came from Ono, reducing inventory and motion and defects, et cetera, and that's wonderful. But what the map does, it divides the organization into 38 significant parts, like quality, like productivity, like training, like logistics, like maintenance, you know, whatever the significant parts of your company is. And then it looks at each part and said, what is the world's best technique? So quality, what is the world's best technique in quality? Well, maybe it's Six Sigma, maybe it's total quality management. Then the next column said, who in the world is doing it the best? Who can we benchmark? Well, it had GE because GE was very famous for Six Sigma. Well, each week with the 4 students, I contacted Nakamura in Japan, and we covered each of these parts. Quality was first. The 7th week, it said standard work. And in the column where best techniques, it said day-to-day management by objective as one of the world's best techniques. In the next column, it said who's doing it. It said Takashi Harada. I never heard of Harada before, but what I did is I had my wife, Noriko, she's Japanese. She went to Amazon Japan, noticed that Harada had published 7 books. We ordered all 7. Fortunately, 3 of the 4 students spoke Japanese, and my wife is Japanese, and they read the books immediately and explained to me what was the power of the Harada method. Well, I got so excited that I called Harada over the phone, and I got him through Noriko because I can't speak Japanese. Even though I've published 100 Japanese books, I don't know how to speak or read Japanese. But Noriko does, of course. And we reached Harada, and I said, Mr. Harada, I want to do with you what I've done with 50 to 60 other Japanese great masters. I want to bring your work to America. And he said, yes. I said, give me a date and I'll come and meet you in Japan. He gave me a date. A month later, Noriko and I got on a plane and we flew to Japan to meet him. When I met him, I said, look, Mr. Harada, which one of your 7 books do you recommend that I put into English? And he said, no, I don't want you to take an old book. I want to write a new one for you. And then I said something I should have said to Shingo and Ono years ago. I said to Mr. Harada, I want to co-author that book. I want to take your information and rewrite it and reintroduce it into the American climate. He said, fine. Well, about a month later, I get 110 pages from Japan in English because his assistant could read and write English. I took those 110 pages, I rewrote them, and I created a book with over 400 pages to teach the Harada method. And then, after that, I decided I'm going to teach it. So I went back to Japan and I took a workshop with Mr. Harada, and he taught me the Harada method. Even though I wrote the book, that was not good enough. I took the workshop with him, filled out all the forms with him, and then came back. And then I decided my goal is to become a great Harada method teacher. I want to become the best in the world outside of him. That was my goal. And I went through the Harada method specifically to attain that goal. I was in Florida, and I was giving a lecture at the Lean Accounting Conference, giving a keynote speech, and there was a group there running a workshop. And I said, what is the workshop you're running? And they said, it's called TWI, Training Within Industry. And I said, how many days is it? They said, 5. I said, what do you charge? They said, $4,500. I said, that's wonderful. I came back with those ideas in my head, and I said, I'm going to put together a 5-day workshop, and I'm going to charge $4,500 an attendee. Believe it or not, 50 people signed up in the next year. 50 people came to take my workshop to become certified teachers of the Harada method. It was wonderful for me. It's not that complicated for you if you pick a strong goal. And then, of course, you have to become dedicated to really learning and stretching your mechanism. Stay tuned. We will continue. Thank you.